Hey everyone, welcome back to Openverse Plus. It's always great to have you here. If you've been enjoying our journey through Renegade Immortal, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the story with others who love this world as much as we do. Your support really keeps our team inspired to bring you more chapters, week after week. Now then, let's dive back into the story. In the previous episode, WANG LIN faced the heavens themselves. The sky above Sky Demon City had turned crimson, and a red lightning bolt, the divine punishment of heaven, descended with boundless fury. To defy it, WANG LIN unleashed every ounce of his power, thousands of restriction seals, the finger of death, and even his will to resist fate itself. The impact between his black tornado of restrictions and the divine bolt shattered the heavens and earth, shaking the entire city to ruin. Yet even as the storm faded, the crimson clouds still lingered, their glow hiding an even greater danger above. The story continues. As the sky above Sky Demon City boiled with thunder, WANG LIN faced the heavens themselves. The 100 fingers of death streaked through the air, colliding with the blinding red lightning of divine retribution. The explosion that followed was deafening. The entire sky trembled, as though it were about to be turned upside down. The finger of death absorbed life force and converted it into destruction. Yet even after consuming immense vitality, it was still no match for the heaven's punishment. The black light from WANG LIN's spell disintegrated under the red lightning's might. Still, the divine retribution dimmed slightly, proof that WANG LIN's resistance was not in vain. Unyielding, WANG LIN made a bold choice. He dissolved the life seals that had been protecting him and transformed them into over 3,700 strands of slaughter energy. Raising his right hand, he gathered them into a storm of darkness. The air around him vibrated with killing intent as he shouted, "Kill!" The countless strands fused into one, forming a colossal black dragon, a dragon born from pure slaughter. WANG LIN's eyes turned crimson. In that moment, his heart was filled with a determination that defied heaven itself. He was not someone who sought to slay the heavens. Yet when the heavens tried to destroy him, he would fight back without hesitation. This unyielding defiance was his essence, his Tao. The dragon roared, its sound echoing across the heavens as it charged toward the red lightning. The clash between the two forces was apocalyptic. For a moment, it seemed as if the heavens dimmed, but divine retribution carried the will of the heavens, and even the dragon of slaughter could not fully withstand it. The dragon disintegrated, yet its collapse weakened the lightning further, shrinking its once massive form. The lightning pierced through the fading dragon and descended once again toward WANG LIN. His long hair danced wildly in the wind as a black light ignited at his fingertip. His expression turned demonic. "Demonic finger," he growled. Instantly, all of the celestial spiritual energy within his body transformed into demonic spiritual energy. Even the small mountain of celestial jades beneath his feet turned black. Their energy completely converted. The black radiance on his finger grew stronger, filled not only with demonic power but also with his Tao, his defiance of fate, his love for Li Muan, his perseverance through endless hardship, and his unbreakable will. This single finger carried everything WANG LIN was: his past, his pain, his determination, and his refusal to yield. When the black light met the red lightning, the world seemed to return to primordial chaos. Red was the heavens, black was defiance. Their collision shook all creation. The ground erupted in explosions. The arena shattered, and waves of destruction spread throughout Sky Demon City. Stands collapsed, mountains quaked, and countless demons fled in panic. Even the commander-in-chiefs were forced to retreat, all except the Heaven Commander-in-Chief. Watching the chaos unfold, he sighed, took out a jade bottle, and tossed it toward WANG LIN before retreating. Finally, after the red and black lights collided with unimaginable force, they neutralized each other. The heavens' thunder subsided, and silence fell across the ruined city. But WANG LIN, pale and exhausted, did not relax. He knew this could not be the end. The heavens never struck only once. He held the jade bottle, but didn't consume the pill inside. His eyes locked on the dark clouds above. The red clouds still lingered, heavy and ominous, spreading an invisible pressure across the land. Far away, A young man who had been observing from a divine boat appeared above the city. His expression grim. This is bad, he muttered. The divine retribution has gone beyond expectations. He tried to teleport WANG LIN away. But the heaven's judgment had already locked onto WANG LIN. There was no escape. Acting quickly, the young man split his body into 8 forms and teleported the surrounding citizens to safety. The effort drained him completely. Then, the red clouds shifted again, gathering, thickening, and a terrifying majesty descended from the sky. This is the heaven's might, he gasped, his voice trembling. The true might of the heavens had arrived. When the heaven's might moved, all life trembled. The red clouds sank an inch, and instantly, the broken city square exploded into dust. The shockwave itself was crushed under the overwhelming pressure. WANG LIN's body felt as if it were being crushed by the weight of a world. His bones creaked under the invisible force. But even as the heavens tried to break him, he refused to bow. He lifted his head and whispered, "I won't give in." The heavens responded with thunder. The red clouds descended again, 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, each descent amplifying the pressure until even the imperial palace of Sky Demon City, which had stood for countless generations, collapsed into rubble. Everything turned to dust. Only the ancient demon drum remained standing amid the ruin. This was the heaven's might, a power that allowed no resistance. Under it, all living beings must kneel. Those who defied it would be crushed into nothingness. As the heavens might pressed down upon Sky Demon City, furious voices suddenly erupted from deep underground. "Dogshit divine retribution. You dare to destroy my Sky Demon country's capital. Damn you all." One after another, enraged roars filled the earth. And then, with a deafening explosion, 5 massive shockwaves burst from below. Even under the crushing weight of the heaven's might, 5 old men emerged, their bodies lean and ancient, yet filled with immense demonic spiritual energy. Their white hair fluttered wildly as their laughter thundered across the ruins. Despite their age, each one radiated the aura of a primordial being. Above, the red cloud churned violently, and the heavens might grew heavier. The pressure was suffocating, the air itself felt as if it would collapse. The ground shattered again, and WANG LIN's body trembled violently. Blood seeped from every pore. His bones groaned, and his legs sank deep into the ground until he was buried up to his knees. Still, his back remained straight, his unyielding gaze fixed on the sky, refusing to bow. Inside his soul, a vast roar echoed, as if the heavens themselves were screaming their judgment into his mind. Yet, even as pain crushed him, WANG LIN said nothing. His silence was defiance. In contrast, the 5 old men were completely unbothered by the divine punishment. Laughing madly, they mocked the heavens. "Comfortable, no wonder the ancestors said this heaven's might is dogfart," one bellowed. Another cackled, "Nonsense. The ancestors said the heaven's Tao is like a naughty girl. If you don't want her pressing on top of you, push her down." "Bullshit," shouted a third. "I've read the records hundreds of times, they never said that." Even as they argued childishly under the divine wrath, the red cloud above grew darker. The heaven's might descended again, 8 full inches, and Sky Demon City was crushed further into ruin. The ground split apart, palaces crumbled, and underground tremors spread like wild dragons tearing through the land. The old men were slammed into the ground by the pressure, leaving 5 massive craters in their wake. Still, they crawled out and cursed at the sky again. "You dare to destroy my city? I'll fight you to the death." Meanwhile, WANG LIN was nearly buried beneath the earth. His meridians were shattered, his bones splintered, and his body was on the verge of collapse. Yet his eyes, though bloodshot and sunken, burned with the same unbending light. He would not yield, not even to the heavens. Then, within his mind, a voice spoke, calm and ancient, echoing with an unfathomable depth. "As long as there are cultivators who defy the heavens, they will try to avoid its punishment. The heavens Tao does not fear those who hide. It fears those who face it head on. You are one of them." The voice explained that since the dawn of creation, there once existed a race as old as the heavens themselves, beings who cultivated by defying the heavens Tao. They were called the Ancient Order. Some became ancient gods, wielding physical might that could shatter the heavens. Others became ancient devils, walking the path of endless slaughter. And some, those who commanded powerful spells, became ancient demons. These beings were the first to stand against the will of the heavens. And though the heavens' punishment descended countless times, it could never make them yield. Wang Lin's thoughts stirred. "Are you an ancient demon?" he asked silently. "I am," the voice replied, "but I am incomplete. My essence is bound to the demon drum. I can feel that it once belonged to me. I've been trapped here for countless years, using my remaining power to create the Dragon Lake and guide the people. There are 8 others like me, sealed in the other countries of this land. We've communicated across the ages, but our natures drive us to devour one another. That is why war has never ended in the demon spirit land." Wang Lin sent a divine thought, steady but curious. "Then why tell me all this?" "Because I need you," the voice said. "I can help you repair your body, help you survive this divine retribution, and grant you power beyond anything in this land. But you must retrieve the 8 holy relics of the other nations, and bring them to me." Wang Lin pondered in silence, his mind steady even as his body crumbled. "Surely I'm not the first heaven-defying cultivator here," he said. "You're not," the ancient voice admitted, "but you are the first mortal to cultivate the path of the ancient gods. I can feel it within you, the purest aura of an ancient god. You are the only one whose body can withstand my power. That is why I chose you." Wang Lin's voice was calm, resolute. "Repair my body, and grant me the strength to defy this divine retribution." The ancient demon's voice echoed faintly, "As you wish." In that instant, the broken remains of Wang Lin's body were enveloped in a vast, mysterious force. His shattered meridians began to knit back together, stronger and tougher than before. His crushed bones reformed, glowing faintly with resilience. Flesh and blood regenerated at an astonishing speed. Within moments, his body had not only healed, it had evolved. Above ground, the 5 old men stopped mid-curse as an ancient, overwhelming aura filled the air. Their eyes widened in disbelief. Is this the ancestor's aura?" one whispered. From the depths of the earth, Wang Lin rose. His hair floated weightlessly, his eyes closed, and a torrent of demonic spiritual energy poured from his body, saturating the air around him. The heavens might still press down, but now it no longer had any effect on him. As Wang Lin ascended into the air, the demonic energy behind him surged upward, forming a colossal illusion, a 1,000-foot-tall demon with curved horns, dark purple skin, and an aura that shook heaven and earth. The moment the illusion appeared, the red cloud above roared like a living beast, unleashing thunder and fury. It was as if, in that instant, a demon that had slumbered for countless ages had finally been reborn. In the heart of that destruction floated Wang Lin, suspended in midair, eyes closed, his body unmoving. Behind him loomed a massive illusion, an ancient demon, identical to him, its eyes also shut tight. The 5 old men below, the protectors of Sky Demon City, looked up in awe and terror. Their hearts pounded as realization struck. "It really is the ancestor," one whispered. "The ancestor has appeared. Could this person be the one the ancestor has been searching for?" another murmured. But before they could act, the heavens themselves moved. The red cloud no longer descended by mere inches, it crashed down in terrifying waves. 10 feet, 20, 30, 100 feet. The entire Sky Demon City collapsed in an instant, sinking deep into the ground. From above, it was as if the city had been erased from existence, leaving behind a vast, smoking basin that grew deeper by the second. The sound of splitting earth echoed across thousands of kilometers. The ground cracked open, spreading destruction in every direction, 5, 50, 500, even 5,000 kilometers away. Everything was reduced to dust. Amid this apocalyptic storm, Wang Lin remained motionless, as if asleep. Then, he opened his eyes. In that same instant, the ancient demon behind him opened its demonic gaze as well. A strange force seemed to guide his body. Slowly, Wang Lin lifted his right hand toward the heavens, and the ancient demon mirrored his movement, except, if one looked closely, it was the demon who moved first, and Wang Lin's body followed. A deep, resonant voice came from Wang Lin's lips. Tao destruction. Those two words exploded like thunder across the heavens. A boundless demonic aura surged from his body and from the ancient demon's phantom. Together, they soared upward like twin bolts of black lightning, colliding directly with the falling red clouds. The heavens roared in fury. The red clouds crackled and rumbled, unleashing thunderous rage, but Wang Lin did not stop. His palm and the demon's palm struck the clouds with divine force. The impact shattered the sky. The clouds rolled violently, torn apart by the strike, and the sound was like 10,000 storms colliding. The moment Wang Lin's feet touched the ground again, the entire world shook. The already shattered earth split once more, this time across 50,000 kilometers. Mountains crumbled, rivers burst their banks, and the land became a wasteland of dust and ruin. Behind him, the ancient demon's form flickered, becoming blurry, almost transparent. Then, the heavens retaliated. The divine punishment refused to fade. From the red clouds above, a column of crimson light, more concentrated than anything before, fell like a blade from the sky. This was not the ordinary lightning of divine wrath. This was something purer, more terrifying. The red light did not target Wang Lin. It aimed directly at the ancient demon behind him. The demon raised its head, eyes gleaming with amusement. The scarlet heavenly light, it said in a voice that shook the air. It has been a long time since I've savored its flavor. Then it leapt into the sky and devoured the red light whole. The result was cataclysmic. The demon's massive body exploded, then instantly reformed. It collapsed and reformed again. Faster and faster, 10,000 times in the span of a breath. Each collapse sent shockwaves across the land. The ground within 5 kilometers shattered anew. Then 10, then 50. Every inch of earth trembled under the sheer force of its power. Finally, the heavens' fury faded, the red clouds vanished, and calm returned to the sky. The ancient demon let out a loud burp, its massive form flickering with exhaustion. "Come meet me at the Dragon Lake in 3 months, it said, its voice echoing across the ruined landscape. Then, it dissolved into green smoke and disappeared. The world fell silent. Wang Lin took a single step forward, and vanished as well. Below, the 5 old men slowly climbed out from the wreckage of the city that no longer existed. Covered in dust and fury, they began shouting, "This damned divine retribution! Yun Dun, you brat, get over here. If you don't show yourself in 3 breaths, I'll throw you into the Dragon Lake for 100 years. Their roars shook the ruins until, finally, a young man appeared, Yun Dun, the same cheerful drinker who had shared wine with Wang Lin. He bowed deeply, voice trembling. "Grandson Yun Dun greets 5 grandfather ancestors." "You bastard," one of them bellowed. "Sky Demon City is gone. I'll give you 3 months to rebuild it exactly as before, or you'll be sealed for a century." 200 years, shouted another. 500. 1,000. And finally, the last one grumbled coldly, "Lock him up for life." The young man could only smile bitterly and nod. "Rest assured, ancestors, your grandson will rebuild the city in 3 months. The old men snorted in approval. "And find the one chosen by the ancestor. Bring him to Dragon Lake in 3 months. Then, with flashes of demonic light, they vanished, leaving only silence and ruin behind. Far away, 5,000 kilometers from the destruction, Wang Lin reappeared. His face was calm, but his heart was filled with purpose. He took a deep breath and pulled out a small token, one that glimmered faintly with spiritual light. This was the key to the mysterious cave he had once visited. He formed a series of seals with his hands, and the token released a beam of white light that enveloped him. In the next instant, his body vanished, reappearing among the colossal dragon platforms that led to the sacred cave. Without hesitation, he raced toward it. The divine retribution had ended, but within him, something greater was stirring. His domain had reached completion, and it was beginning to merge with his celestial spiritual energy, a sign that he was ready for the next great transformation. He had reached the threshold of the ascendant stage. But this was no ordinary step. One mistake could destroy his cultivation entirely, even cause his origin soul to collapse. To attempt it, he needed a place of perfect stillness, a place untouched by chaos. The cave was ideal. He entered swiftly, sitting cross-legged within the familiar pavilion where he had once found the jug of celestial wine. Taking a deep breath, he emptied his bag of holding. Celestial jades poured out in a glittering wave, covering the floor like a mountain of stars. Their energy surged around him, filling the chamber with radiance. Then, WANG LIN took out a small red crystal, no larger than a fingernail. The moment it appeared, the air itself seemed to pause. Even time hesitated. The crystal radiated a faint trace of heavenly might. The Ascendant Crystal, WANG LIN whispered, a gift from Senior Zhou Yi. If I succeed today, I'll owe him this life. Without hesitation, he swallowed the crystal. As it entered his body, a vast energy spread through him. His domain fused with his celestial energy, and WANG LIN began his ascent toward the next realm of power, the Ascendant stage. Outside, Sky Demon City was already being rebuilt. Armies of demon soldiers swarmed the land, raising new walls upon the ruins. But deep in the shadows of a faraway black tower, within the silent helm of a giant black armor, two ghostly lights flickered. A cold voice whispered from within. Even the ancient demon appeared to help you resist the divine retribution. Absorbing you now would be a pity. But if I miss this chance, who knows how long I'll have to wait. The power of ascension may be small. Inside the silent cave, WANG LIN's body was still as stone. Around him, countless celestial jades had turned to dust, their final traces of energy absorbed into his body. Inside, the process of fusion had begun, the merging of his domain and celestial spiritual energy. A trial that would decide whether he ascended or perished. The fusion was not gentle. It was like a great fire burning within him. The celestial spiritual energy acted as the fuel, while his domain, his understanding of life and death, was the essence being refined. Within WANG LIN's origin soul, this process took the form of a vast cocoon. Inside that cocoon was the embryo of his new power, and the blazing celestial flame outside was what shaped it. The stronger the fire, the more alive the cocoon became, the more intense the burning. The closer the domain and the origin soul merged into one. Soon, there would be no distinction between them. The domain would become the origin soul itself, and the origin soul would be the domain. But this fire was dangerous. Every ascendant cultivator knew this risk. The same flame that could refine and elevate one's soul could also consume it entirely. If he failed to control it, that invisible fire would become real, devouring his body and spirit, leaving nothing but ash. Still, WANG LIN remained unmoved. The celestial flame raged inside him, drawing in every drop of spiritual energy from the jades scattered around him. His body seemed calm, but within him, a tempest of transformation was unfolding. His domain melted down, becoming a swirling, chaotic mass of energy, the purest form of power, known in ancient times as origin energy. Long before the celestial realm had appeared, the ancient cultivators called themselves energy refiners. They sought not immortality but the mastery of this origin energy. To them, it was life itself, the truest form of existence. Later, when celestials rose, they learned to surround themselves with this origin energy as a life source. Which is why even when their bodies perished, as long as a trace of this energy remained, they would not die completely. Inside WANG LIN, that same origin energy now took shape. It condensed and shimmered, turning liquid-like, but it refused to crystallize. And if it couldn't crystallize, he couldn't form the Ascendant Crystal, the core of an Ascendant cultivator's being. He tried again and again, focusing his consciousness within, controlling the flow of power. But every attempt failed. Finally, he took a deep breath and released all restraint. The celestial jades around him exploded, flooding the chamber with radiant energy. The light poured into him like a torrent, feeding the flame to its peak intensity. The fire roared through his body, pushing him to the limit. The air itself seemed to burn. Flames burst from his mouth and nose, their glow faint but terrifying. His sweat evaporated instantly into white mist, rising above his head in a hazy cloud. Deep inside him, the origin energy liquid finally began to solidify, the first sign of crystallization appearing like a spark in the dark. But at the crucial moment, Something went wrong. The liquid trembled violently, shaking the cocoon. The flame that had been refining him turned wild, threatening to consume instead of temper. In that instant, Wang Lin's body hovered on the edge of destruction. He was moments away from failure. Then, from deep within his dantian, a faint red light emerged, the Ascendant Crystal that Zhou Yi had once given him. It floated upward, calm and steady, and entered the raging celestial fire. The moment it appeared, the flames dimmed as if tamed by its presence. That crystal moved closer to the cocoon, passing through the fire unharmed, and merged directly into Wang Lin's origin soul. It floated beside the forming Ascendant Crystal within him, circling once, then shattered on its own. The immense energy released from Zhou Yi's crystal was absorbed instantly. Wang Lin's Ascendant Crystal grew rapidly, expanding from the size of a fingernail to that of his pinky. The moment it solidified, the danger passed, the wild flames calmed, the cocoon stabilized. What had nearly been his death became the birth of something new. Inside the cocoon, a brilliant aura took form. Slowly, the transformation completed. Outside, years flowed like water. 10 years passed in the world beyond the cave. Sky Demon City, once destroyed by heavenly wrath, was rebuilt in all its glory. The streets were bustling again. The Imperial Square restored, the great demon drum standing tall as before. But the memory of that day, the collapse of heaven and earth, still haunted those who had seen it. The name, Wang Lin, became a legend whispered across the land. Even Yun Dun, the young man who once drank with him, stood on the palace rooftop, gazing into the distance with a sigh. It's been 10 years, even the 5 ancestors can't find him. It's as if he's vanished from the demon spirit land itself. Elsewhere, old comrades like the burly Earth Vice Commander stared at the sky with quiet sorrow. "Brother Wang, where did you go?" he murmured. Unaware that Wang Lin had never left, he had simply been still. Deep in the cave, locked in timeless cultivation. Inside that cave, Wang Lin sat unmoving, his body unchanged for a decade. But within him, something extraordinary was happening. Cracks began to spread across the cocoon that held his origin soul. One by one they widened until, at last, the cocoon shattered completely. From within emerged a brilliant, solid figure, his new origin soul. It was no longer transparent but tangible, radiant with power. The newly formed Ascendant Crystal revolved gently within it, pulsing with divine light. This was the true form of an Ascendant cultivator, where the origin soul and the domain were one. The cocoon melted into nourishing essence, feeding back into the soul, completing the transformation. At that moment, Wang Lin's body trembled. Slowly, he opened his eyes for the first time in 10 years. His gaze was bright and steady, his aura boundless. "Ascendant," he whispered. After 7 centuries of relentless cultivation, through trials of life and death, he had finally stepped into the Ascendant stage, a realm that stood above nearly all others. In any rank 6 country, he would be considered a supreme powerhouse. Even in rank 7 realms, his name would command respect. Inside the ancient battleground, within a towering black structure shrouded in mist, 2 ghostly lights suddenly flickered to life inside a helmet resting at the top floor of the tower. A chilling voice echoed softly in the darkness. The owner of that voice had been waiting for 10 long years. He sensed that somewhere far away, a cultivator named Wang Lin had just stepped into the Ascendant stage, a moment of both triumph and vulnerability. During this stage, a cultivator's origin energy was not yet fully fused with their body. It would take exactly 49 days for the fusion to complete. Until then, the newly ascended were at their weakest. The ghostly figure within the armor whispered to himself, his tone filled with cold calculation. He had been waiting precisely for this chance, to seize the origin energy of someone newly ascended. The ground trembled as a black vortex began to spin in the sky above the battleground. It was vast, devouring light itself, and even the wandering souls in the ancient wasteland began to tremble in fear. From the tower, the figure extended his divine sense across the entire land. Ancient bones buried beneath the ground stirred and rose. Drawn by an unseen power, they floated upward, merging in the air to form a massive black skeletal arm. As it hovered below the vortex, The figure inside the tower detached one of his own armored arms, sending it flying into the sky, wrapped in demonic flames. The armor attached itself to the bone, and immediately, the skeletal arm pulsed with dark energy. Go, the voice commanded coldly. Bring back the origin energy. The black bone arm trembled once, then disappeared into the swirling vortex. Far away, deep inside a cave, Wang Lin slowly exhaled after 10 years of stillness. He stood, his joints cracking as his long slumbering body awakened. But suddenly, his expression darkened. A faint rumbling sound came from above, and when he looked up, a black vortex had silently appeared on the ceiling of the cave. It spun slowly, impossibly deep, like the maw of a void ready to swallow the world. Wang Lin immediately sensed danger. The timing of the vortex's appearance was too perfect. It had manifested the very moment he reached the ascendant stage. Acting instinctively, he reached into his bag of holding and activated the teleportation token of the celestial cave. His body began to blur and fade, but before he could vanish completely, a giant black arm, covered in ancient armor, shot out from the vortex. It swiped toward him with terrifying force. The attack struck the space where he stood, shaking his fading form, but at the last second, he disappeared. The arm hesitated briefly, then retracted back into the vortex, which vanished as if it had never been there. When Wang Lin reappeared, he found himself standing on a desolate plain beneath a dark, silent sky. The air was thick with ash, and nothing lived for miles. His face was grim, even though he had escaped. The sense of danger still lingered. He released his divine sense, only to realize that he was in an unfamiliar land, far from where he had been before. But before he could move, the sky twisted once again. A black dot appeared, spinning faster and faster until it widened into that same vast, silent vortex. No aura warned of its approach. No fluctuation in energy betrayed its presence. It simply was, as though it had existed there all along. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. This time, he refused to run. He wanted to see exactly what kind of power this thing possessed. From the depths of the vortex, the armored bone arm emerged once more and reached for him. There was no visible energy fluctuation, no sound of wind or thunder, just the slow, casual movement of a hand. Yet Wang Lin could feel the immense killing intent hidden behind it. He lifted his right hand and unleashed his finger of death, his first attack as an ascendant cultivator. A beam of black light burst forth, far larger and stronger than ever before, surrounded by rippling rings of destructive force. It collided head-on with the black arm. A thick demonic aura burst from the armor, forming a barrier that met Wang Lin's attack. For a moment, the two forces seemed equal. But the death energy hidden within Wang Lin's attack began devouring the demonic energy, absorbing it until the barrier disintegrated into nothingness. But even as the demonic energy vanished, something invisible struck Wang Lin, an unseen wind that passed through space itself. It felt gentle at first, almost harmless, yet the moment it touched him, Wang Lin's expression changed drastically. His newly formed ascendant origin soul trembled violently, as if it were about to be torn from his body. His mind blurred, his consciousness dimmed, and his physical form stiffened. His soul began drifting out of his body against his will. A sleepy haze filled his mind, an enchantment of pure spiritual power. Most would have fallen instantly. But Wang Lin was not ordinary. In the depths of his fading awareness, his killing intent flared to life. He had defied heaven itself, killed gods and demons. How could he yield to this? A low roar escaped his lips as his heart of slaughter erupted. The violent aura of slaughter that he had tempered through countless battles exploded outward, engulfing his body in an invisible storm. The sheer force of it forced his drifting origin soul back into his flesh. His eyes snapped open, burning with a murderous light. "Whoever you are," he growled coldly, "don't mess with me." Without hesitation, Wang Lin used several teleportation spells in succession. His figure flickered, then vanished completely. Back in the Black Tower, the ghostly figure let out a low murmur of surprise. So he resisted my heavenly demon wind with his heart of slaughter? Impressive, truly heaven-defying. But the stronger you are, the more valuable your origin energy will be. Every cultivator who reached Ascendant in this demon spirit land has fallen to me, and you will be no exception." Meanwhile, Wang Lin reappeared again, this time in a barren wasteland filled with withered trees and cracked earth. His eyes swept across the land and soon caught sight of something unusual in the distance, an area surrounded by countless layered restrictions. Curious, he flew toward it. There were over 1,000 restrictions woven together, simple in design but immense in strength. Even a demon general would find it difficult to breach them quickly. Wang Lin studied them with calm precision. With his mastery of formations, he saw through their secrets easily. But before he could decide whether to investigate further, the black vortex appeared once again. His expression hardened. "It's like a ghost haunting me." The vortex spun silently above, and killing intent surged within Wang Lin's heart. He immediately sank into the web of restrictions, moving swiftly through them without triggering any defenses. Inside the protected area, the scenery changed. Instead of a dead wasteland, he found a field carefully divided into small plots of land. A faint, refreshing fragrance filled the air. What grew here was something rare beyond measure: celestial ascension fruits. Legendary treasures that could enhance cultivation and restore origin energy. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with surprise. But before he could react, the ground trembled. The black vortex had followed him even here. In this episode, we see Wang Lin's cultivation journey reach a critical turning point as he finally breaks through to the Ascendant stage after 10 years of silent meditation. Yet, his moment of ascension becomes one of peril. As an ancient, sinister force hidden within the Black Tower awakens, seeking to steal the origin energy of newly ascended cultivators. A terrifying vortex tears through space, sending forth a demonic bone arm clad in armor to hunt him down. Despite facing overwhelming danger, Wang Lin's fierce will and heart of slaughter allow him to resist the deadly heavenly demon wind and narrowly escape. Each encounter reveals the immense power and mystery of the being lurking in the shadows, one who has devoured countless ascendants throughout the ages. When Wang Lin finally reaches a strange land filled with powerful restrictions, he uncovers a hidden field of celestial ascension fruits, only for the demonic arm to reappear, breaking through the barriers in pursuit. The episode closes with tension at its peak, as Wang Lin stands once again before an unstoppable force, his ascendant power still stabilizing, and the unknown threat closing in. What began as a moment of triumph now turns into a desperate struggle for survival, one that will test not only his cultivation but his unyielding determination against fate itself.